Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Monster Month. For the entire month of October, every episode of 4 films will focus on a different monster. With that being said, here are 4 vampire films that don't suck. I'm Zack Bishop. Welcome to 4 Films. So it's pretty safe to state out loud that popular things are good. And the first film of our list of vampire films that don't suck is Fright Night. It's an 80s classic. It's good. It's popular. It doesn't suck. It's funny, suspenseful, has great practical effects, and a really good little story. The idea of a vampire moving next door may seem very Goosebumps level in nature, but it's actually almost a small homage to Dracula. Plus, when you have Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent, it's pretty clear that this is also an homage to the Hammer horror films and just horror films in general. My only actual complaint would be that the club scene goes on a bit too long. Like, there is a point to it overall, but the whole middle bit is just, come on, get to the point. And it also raises a question: if he's trying to avoid being found out by humans, why does he attack the bouncers in the club with everyone knowing that? Wouldn't that seem kind of counterproductive to your plan? Among the other great things are Chris Sarandon as the evil Jerry Dandridge, and Evil Ed. They're wonderful. In fact, the entire cast is really good. In conclusion, this film doesn't suck. At least, not in the way that you think. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Welcome to Fright Night.
Bitches.
Next up is The Lost Boys. Oh man, where do I start with this film? There's so many great things about it. The Frog Brothers, the saxophone guy, the vampires, the vampire death scenes, the setting itself, the characters, the cast, the music even. Everything top to bottom in this film just kicks ass. In one of the on-set pictures, there's a copy of The Man-Thing #1 from 1979, the second series, which lasted from 1979 to 81, behind the 2 Coreys. I mean, how awesome is that? Oh, I know, it's very awesome, because they're in a comic book store, because 2 of the characters run a goddamn comic book store, and the comics that they give from one Corey to the other is basically an homage to Tomb of Dracula. If for some reason you haven't seen this movie, please do yourself a favor and watch the original Lost Boys. It's all you need. Third up is Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which Bloodlust is really a sequel, but I'm counting them both, for good reason. Based on the Japanese novel started in 1983, the 1985 and 2001 anime follows the vampire hunter who is half human and half vampire, known only as D. In the far future of 12,090, vampires, humans, and demons all survived a nuclear war, which happened around 1999. Many of those vampires that survived decided to start doing experiments, because why the hell not? It was basically hell on earth until some of the humans decided, nah, let's do something about this. And the strongest people to rise up were the vampire hunters. And the strongest among them were the Dunpeels, or Dampiers, which is a half-human, half-vampire. Basically, blades. A bunch of blades running around. A bunch of Wesley Snipes avoiding demons and taxes like the plague. And the strongest of those strongest was D. And that's probably because he's the son of Dracula. So some people might be thinking, even in this day and age, well, it's an anime, it's a cartoon for kids, it's not for me. You're wrong. These films are actually Western sci-fi horror anime with some drama and even comedy thrown in there. And of course, some of the highest praise I can give these films is that they are legitimately, visually beautiful to look at. Like, this is what art is. And if you're curious, even if you don't think these are your thing, I would recommend watching Bloodlust just for the animation alone. Last up is The Last Man on Earth from 1964, starring Vincent Price. This was the very first adaptation of the story, I Am Legend, which I talked about here. Now, not only from it being from 1964, but the film in general does have its flaws. It can be a bit slow, and its vocal dubs are very, very obvious.
Very obvious.
But the twists in the film, as well as Vincent Price, are really what make this a good film, or at the very least a thought-provoking film. One that could be seen as relevant today, which I talked about here. Now, I know this version of the film isn't for everyone, but I have to say, it is actually a lot better than the Will Smith version. I'm sorry, but it is. The Will Smith version actually misses the point of the story, which so many adaptations do, and it adds on an ending that really doesn't make any sense. The alternate ending made more sense. Oh, and yes, it is a vampire story, because they're all a vampire story. Every version, it's vampires. Now, this version of the film and the original story did inspire George Romero for his 1968 Night of the Living Dead for the ghouls, otherwise known as zombies, but they're still vampires. They don't like garlic or crosses or sunlight, and you stake them and they die. And on a side note, I do love that one of them actually talks to him, like when they're trying to break in, and it's actually his former friend who's calling out to him. And I mean, he's got good reason. He could just be pissed because he broke into his house and is using it. So again, while this film probably isn't for everyone, especially today, because oh no, it's in black and white and it's an old movie, blah, I still highly recommend you watch it, much more than the other versions of this story. Or you could just go read the book. Hey, that's a novel idea. But yes, I do recommend you check out this chilling tale. That's all for now. I'm Zack Bishop. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can join the Patreon at patreon.com/TheBisness to help support me making these videos and my music. And I will see you next time.
Morgan! Come out!
What was that?
Morgan! Please!
Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna go check this out and see what this is.
Come out, Morgan! Morgan! Come out! Morgan! Please!
No.
Morgan! I know it's you!
No.
Morgan!
Well, first off, my name's not Morgan.
It's you! I know it is!
Oh my God, this is gonna be a long night. Sorry, sir, you have the wrong place.
I know it's you! We're going to kill you, Morgan!
Okay, see, that doesn't sound reasonable to me.
You won't do shit, Morgan!
You want me to come out, I'll come out there, but if I come out there, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
You bitch!
I'm gonna get my gun.
Morgan!
Oh, goddamn vampires. Alright, you son of a bitch. Let's dance. Well, I'm a rock and roll vampire.